My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
And happy New Year.
Yeah, it's the new year. It's 2025, everybody.
I know. We're recording way in the past because
Still 2024.
It is still 2024. It's still the hard, dark time. We haven't even made it to the solstice to start getting daylight back. It gets dark around 2:15 here.
Oh my God.
That's what it feels like.
Truly like full darkness at 4:30. And the way that I'm set up is I'm just like, once it's dark outside, I'm like night.
Yeah,
you know?
bra off, pants off.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm hard pressed to get out and do anything. If it's cold and dark, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah. Here it gets dark. We have like so many hours of darkness. It's like kind of wild because you also saw that we have like a lot of daylight hours, right? Like in the summertime, it stays light until like almost 11 o'clock in the night. So it starts getting dark here. Let me look. I can look on my weather app and see. But it's like we only get like it's really short here.
Oof.
Yeah,
I would need like a sun lamp or something.
Same. I don't know how people
get
do it in Alaska when it's just like dark for a month or whatever. Ugh.
Oof.
So we get 7 hours and 30 minutes of daylight right now.
No. And you know that starts like before I'm out of bed, which those hours don't count. You know.
Exactly.
So you're getting like 4 hours.
Yes, exactly.
4 hours of sunlight. Oh no.
So yeah, and then equivalently, you guys are getting almost 10.
Yeah,
So,
which still seems very short.
It still sucks, but it's
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're not a morning person.
Yeah.
You know, like because you can seize that day if you want to get out of bed at like 5.
But technically, it doesn't. No, our sunrise isn't until 8:30 a.m. That's also part of it.
Ew.
Yeah. That's insane, right?
I hate all of that. That sounds horrible.
It's like sunrise at 8:30, sunset at 4 p.m.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't want to live my life that way.
It is weird.
I would be so sad.
But
truly.
the long days in summer are kind of exceptional.
That's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
wild. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's still being like daylight at 11.
Yeah. It's like, I could
crazy.
still go out.
Yeah,
it really
that's
does
true.
change.
And I would. You know
Yeah.
what? Either way, I'm in trouble, you know? 'Cause it's either like I'm sleeping all the time or I have no concept of time and I'm like, we're still partying, you know? Like it's going to be
It's
like
still daylight.
Yeah, it's still, what are you talking about? I mean, we can all agree though that living in Alaska where it's like constantly daylight or constantly night.
I couldn't. Too much.
What would you do? Like, I feel like I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It was too much for me to watch on True Detective Night Country. When I was watching that show, I was disoriented and it was a TV show. I was like, why are they
cold?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No.
Truly. God bless. I know we have listeners in Alaska and God bless you. And I know a lot of people, you know, they move there for very specific reasons and they're happy to be living there. But I have not seen one piece of media that has made Alaska look like a place I want to live.
Right.
Like it looks like a place I'd like to visit and like pet some reindeer. But I am not interested. Like watching True Detective Night Country, I don't know how many times I said, why does anybody live there?
Yeah. Looks hard, cold, and dark. So, yeah.
All three things that are not my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is the new year. It's the time for resolutions. It's the time for predictions, reflecting. I find it hard pressed to try to, I can usually be like, oh, this year's probably going to be like this because I have this and this going on and this feels with the world. Things have been so unceasingly
Chaotic.
bananas and chaotic that I can't even begin to predict. But by the time people are listening to this, we probably missed like 70
the
different
aliens
events.
have landed by the time that this episode comes out. Yeah.
For sure.
All hail our new alien overlords.
True. Yes.
Woof.
That's the best case scenario at this point.
100%.
Like we gave it a good run. It's obvious we're not doing
We fumbled
very
the ball.
well. Yeah.
You know, we really did.
You know,
humanity really fucked a lot of shit up.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a island of floating plastic in the ocean. Like we really just didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah. We gave it, gave it a good
we
run.
just didn't care. Like that's the thing.
They really took that. They didn't play consequences, and they instead played Keegan's game of that's future me's problem.
Yeah,
Oof.
Which
exactly
you can't do that generation after generation. Eventually,
future is now.
Yes.
So
yes.
And the people that kept saying future me are like, bye.
Deuces. They're resting peacefully 7 feet below.
I think we should guess, or not guess, but just say like what we want to happen in 2025
for the world,
for anything, for yourself, for the world, for.
I mean, I think we're seeing an awakening in class consciousness is happening.
Yes.
I would love to keep that energy going. I don't have a lot of hope that it will continue because the powers that be are very invested in it not continuing. And unfortunately, we've seen that the populace is very easy to distract.
Yeah.
So everybody, we just gotta keep your eye on the prize, keep your head in the game. Okay.
Viva la revolution.
It's not side to side. It's not left, right. It's up, down.
That's
okay?
right. That is right. Let's see some wealth redistribution, please. Definitely.
So
I would love to see that.
I would love to see that. I don't know, but we're just manifesting right now, right? So I'm going to put out into the universe that 2025 is going to be my hottest year.
Ooh.
I'm going to, fully confident, no fucks given is coming.
I love it.
Yeah, I do feel like
love
that
this season of Keegan.
Yeah, that planetary shift that happened, I feel like is the planetary shift and the Lexapro. Two things that are going to be like, all right, I'm coming out is going to start playing every time I walk
out the
into
door.
a room. Yeah. So,
God, I love Lexapro, man. She's good. She's a good friend. Such a good friend.
Promo code my worst date.
friend of the pod. Lexapro.
Friend of the pod.
Truly.
Right.
It's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like my prediction / hope is revolution for sure. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm ready. I say
such
that
a fun little dating podcast.
I know. So light, so fun. That's going to be hard. I watched the movie Civil War and that looked hard. That did not look fun.
No, I mean, that's the thing. That's why I almost was like, I don't know if I'm hoping for this because I think, anytime a major transition happens, it's painful. Like the transition is difficult and scary. But, I think, and not to be kind of like a bummer, but I think we're heading towards kind of difficult and scary anyway.
Yeah.
So if we're going that way, you got to go down swinging. So
I want an AI maid next year.
You like the one on
so
the
practical.
Jetsons?
Yes.
So practical. So Capricorn of you.
I know.
But didn't we just talk last episode, not the last episode that the listeners got, because that's our Boobies and Newbies episode, but the one before that, didn't we just talk about like AI developing conscience? Like, no,
I love it. I'll be friends with it. I've always been very nice to my robot assistants.
Because I'm scared.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there are going to be definitely consequences, I think, for yelling at your Alexa.
Oh God, yeah. No, I say
I've never yelled at Alexa. Never.
No.
She's my sweet friend.
That's right.
Yes, she helps you out. She's doing you a favor,
obviously.
Yeah. So hopefully there's no Skynet next year with all the development that we have for like computer chips and. Even ChatGPT 5 is so much bigger than 4. It's bananas.
Really?
Yeah.
We need to develop, before you get this AI made, we need to develop a safe word.
Bananas.
Because if it's always listening, if you wake up and it's just leaning over your bed while you're sleeping, red glowing eyes in the dark, you're not going to be able to just text me that because all the technology is connected. So you're going to have to, there has to be some kind of safe word in place that's like, we need to find a way to take down my AI maid because she's turning.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh man.
This is what I think about. I'm like,
the problem is if you come up with it now, it's been recorded and she's already learning it.
God
so
damn
That's
it.
true. That's true. We can't come up with it now.
You can't.
And
Christina.
it's always listening. If you have one in your
I know,
house,
that's what I'm saying. You're a hostage in your own house. Why would you do this? Why would you welcome this?
I don't know.
It doesn't bother me at all.
You want a chip in your arm.
You guys are ready to let the aliens, like, I'm like, fuck it, let AI take over. Like,
you would rather AI would you rather? You would rather
aliens.
AI than aliens.
Yes.
Oh, I'd rather have aliens.
Me too.
Aliens
1,000%.
freak me the fuck out. That scares the shit out of me.
Dude,
You don't
aliens
know?
must have been a civilization that went through the same shit that we're going through right now, but they were smart enough to get past it, to
Or
have
rich
enough, or like empathetic enough, that kind of thing, to get past it and develop like inner space travel. I'm like, these people know what's going on.
Yeah,
I give them the
my
reins.
issue with AI is I think I grew up on too many of those like AI movies,
The
and I
Terminator.
also understand
I'm the opposite. I grew up with too many alien movies.
Right. But there's at the time I was coming up, it was very like AI heavy, I feel like. But I just don't trust. My issue with AI taking over is I know humans and the way that we treat AI, they're going to want to destroy us. Whereas like aliens, maybe not. You don't know what you're getting.
And what we've trained AI on is also shit that humans have created.
Hate.
So
And just like, I don't know. They're going to want to like create a slave race of humans, and we don't know for a fact that aliens will want to do that, you know?
I would definitely thrive in a zoo environment. So if the aliens
Wow.
want to put me in a
I would
little
not.
terrarium,
No.
and
Not
all
me.
I have to do, and they just like watch me read books and do my human shit.
Yeah,
I'm
but you're
totally
like,
down for
but
that.
which zoo are you in? Because there are like good zoos and bad zoos. Are you in like San Diego Zoo? I'll sign up for that, but not like. Are you in a clean enclosure? Are they taking
what
good
if
care of you?
What if you're like a pet that gets taken home to some like shitty alien kid?
Yeah, like no, like if I come back as a house cat, I want to come back as my house cat because I know exactly what kind of treatment that cat is getting. You know what I mean? But you don't know. Like
it's like the human distribution system now. So it's like, oh, I just found this one walking down the street.
That is why cats go and find their own owners because
That's
they're
right.
like, I'm not taking a chance.
Right.
I don't want to be placed with some shitty family.
That's
that
right.
lady looks nice.
That's
I'm going over there. And that'll be me in the alien world. I'll be
That's
like,
right.
that family, they look like they got their shit together.
Yeah.
They
That's
look like
a
they're
nice
going to treat me real nice.
Yep.
I'm going over there.
Hey, friend. And you start rubbing against
To
them.
rub my head against their scaly ass legs or whatever. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm ready.
Me too. I am
Shit's wild.
I'm tired.
Assy.
I'm really tired of. I really want 2025 to be a year that brings balance back in my life because I feel like my year this year was really unbalanced on the work side of
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
And I want 2025 to bring a balance in my priorities and have like health and family
Love that.
take priority over work. Work right now just feels so just the concept of it in general, not my specific job, but I'm like messing around on monday.com to try to figure out an automation. Is this like
This is my life.
this is my life?
Yeah.
This is what I'm spending my precious time doing.
I have a crisis about that like once a month.
yeah.
Yeah. Where I'm just like, for real?
Work has really stopped making a lot of sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. Where I'm just like, it just feels like there's so much other big things going on.
Yeah.
That sometimes at like 2:15, I'm just like, oh, my eyes glaze over. I'm just ready for the next development.
Yes.
I thought that technology was supposed to make it so that we would only have to work like 2 or 3 hours a
No,
day.
they're just
Yeah,
here to write
right.
all the screenplays. That's it.
Jesus. Take all the art jobs.
They're all the fun jobs. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Write
you
bad
had a-
poetry.
Yeah. You wanted to do something fun, JK. We have
No.
somebody can do that
No,
now.
no. Yeah.
Fuck you. Honestly, I think no. Now that I really think about it, and now that you've put kind of things like that into perspective, and I can think less globally and more locally, and I want to next year. I think because I'm like I live in Germany, I want to travel more. I want to get to places I haven't been. That's my goal.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
And for you guys to come visit me in Hamburg.
Oh my gosh. I am going to manifest the money to do so.
Same. Oh my gosh. Well, it is Christina season. It is Capricorn season, baby. So we have Fuck, Marry, Killed a lot of Capricorns in the past already. And for your listening pleasure, we are going to try and pick some people that we either haven't done or maybe have done less of. So I'm looking through this list right now.
What about characters that give Capricorn energy?
Oh my! Oh, I didn't know Kate McKinnon. She was born on my birthday, January 6th.
Amazing. Okay, I know who I'm going to pick, and you guys are going to laugh. So I'm going to go last.
Okay. I gotta look.
Oh, also Eddie Redmayne has my birthday. My exact birthday.
We talked about that before.
That's right.
Yes, that he does. I like him. He has such an ethereal look about him.
Weirdly attractive.
He
to me.
is.
It doesn't make sense, but
he's attractive in like an elven way.
You know what? I don't think that we've really done him, or if we have, it's been a really long time. Denzel.
Oh, we have done him, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do him again. It has been a while.
Yeah.
And it's different whenever you put them in with different people too. So
yeah. I think I gotta go with Denzel. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Denzel.
Okay. All right.
I think that I am going to go with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Okay.
Oh,
all
dude.
Right.
So, we did watch Moana last
the
week.
new one.
Yeah, no, not the new one, the old
original
one.
Oh,
and because
tears.
Eric hadn't seen it before, he was like, "This is really good." I'm like, "I know."
Did he cry? Because I swear I cry every time.
His favorite part was the snail song. It's been stuck in his head the whole time. Shiny.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the Flight of the Conchords guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have all men of color this round because I'm going to go with Mr. Worldwide, Pitbull.
No. Did I tell you guys that I lived in Miami when he like popped off? But
God.
He used to be one of the guys in Miami like trying to get you to take his CD.
Did you see there was a video on TikTok where this woman went to a Pitbull concert and she got there super early and she was in the front row. And she came dressed as Pitbull. So she had a bald cap on and like a little like mustache and soul patch drawn up.
That's amazing.
And he saw her in the crowd and he was like, he pointed at her. He was cracking up. I was like, that's incredible.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Denzel gives real Capricorn, and I like that they all give Capricorn energy, but in a different way, in very different ways. Oh God,
he gives daddy energy.
Generationally hot. There was a TikTok about that with Denzel too, where it's like it spans
through the generations.
Yep. Yeah, your grandma thinks Denzel's hot. Your little sister thinks Denzel's hot. Everyone thinks Denzel is hot.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, and then Lin-Manuel Miranda, I did meet when I was in New York. On the street in New York. Yeah. And it was the day I went to go see Hamilton. I was going to see Hamilton that night.
That's wild.
And then we ran into him just like walking through Manhattan.
Wow.
And I regret to this day that I did not take a picture with him. I took a picture of my brother with him, and we had just gone and gotten a slice of pizza, and Maceo, my brother Maceo, he put the pizza down on the sidewalk to take a picture with Lin-Manuel, and Lynn was like, never put anything on the ground in New York.
Yeah. Gross.
But yes, he seemed lovely, and he has definitely a more like cheerful kind of quality about him, but obviously hard worker,
right?
Extremely hard worker.
Yeah. And Pitbull too. I think the amount of hustle you have to have to and to get on the streets of Miami and try to get people to like buy your CD or even just take it to listen to it, that takes a specific kind of hustle too.
Yeah.
So
Pitbull gives me energy. Like I know that it's kind of a joke, you know, Mr. Worldwide, whatever, but like he actually gives me very fun energy. I bet he is like a really good time.
Yeah.
Like not an asshole, like a good time.
It does make me nervous, you know, in the time of, you know, all the truths coming out.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
You're
sure.
like, who
Yeah,
knows what's going to be on whose list, and that is definitely part of the
that's
2025 predictions.
Permanent disclaimer. Yeah.
I think that Denzel has, you know, if it was going to happen, I think
it probably would have.
Yeah,
and
I feel
he's
like
been with this. Yes, knock on wood. But he's also been married to his same wife forever and ever and ever. And also he has like, until you'll notice, like in his, like I think for the last 30 years or something, he only kisses black women on screen because he knows that is such a huge fan base of his, and he respects that that's his fan base.
I love
and I'm
that.
like, I actually really like that.
Yeah. I feel like too, it's kind of maddening to me that like when you think of the great actors of our generation, you know, it's always like Meryl Streep or Daniel Day-Lewis. I don't think that Denzel Washington gets enough credit. I really don't.
I do think he's highly rated, but it's not on the level of like a Daniel Day-Lewis or a Meryl Streep.
I saw the Tragedy of Macbeth last year that he did with Frances McDormand. Oh my God. Incredible. Yeah. And I heard he steals the show in Gladiator 2.
Of course he does. Yeah. Oh, and he's hot. I haven't seen Gladiator 2, but in the advertisements for that, I was like,
hello,
daddy for real. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know why.
I wonder if because I don't think he gets offered the same kind of roles first and foremost.
And he is a Shakespearean actor.
Right.
Like he is trained in Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh.
This one's kind of hard.
It is hard.
3 different energies. Because like Denzel could be a little like, he gives off a very serious vibe that might be like
too intense.
I have to say this though. All 3 of these men are going to be intense in one way or another.
Yes.
Right? Like
that's what you get for a Capricorn.
Yeah. There's a lot of big energy coming at you from one direction or another. Okay.
I think I know what I'm going to do. I think that I'm going to marry Lin-Manuel. And I think because he is a theater kid, it's always going to be something fun and exciting. You're always going to be like able to like, you know, I feel like he's got that same energy that I do. Is like I hear a word and immediately I'm like, think of the song or something. Like there's going to be a lot of singing around the house. Yes. It's going to be, you know, I just feel like it's going to be good energy. Like he's got good, he gives me real good vibes.
Yes, me too. And the good vibes are there in person as well. And he also gives like, he gives like ADHD on medication energy where it's just like, it's very like focused. Yeah. It's like he's got a lot going on all at the same time, always. And he's really, really smart, but it's all like funneled in a direction. Like, you know, like he's task oriented, and he's got that Disney money now, honey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I feel good about that. I think that for me, I think I'm gonna have to fuck Denzel.
Ooh.
I mean,
yeah.
Just to say you did.
Just to say I did.
Just to say you did.
Just to say I did. At least that.
Generational sex symbol.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with that.
That is like a Mount Everest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Truly.
Yeah. You put a pole on that when you get there.
Right at the top, a little flag.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna marry Denzel.
Yeah.
I love.
It's a calm life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love a calm, comfortable life filled with like stimulating intellectual conversations. I love like talking him about his script, his process, like that he's working on.
Oh, his voice is also so so nice.
Soothing.
Oh my God. Even just imagining him saying my name.
Oh.
Imagine in your head right now, Denzel Washington saying your name.
But I didn't imagine him saying my name. I imagined him saying Christina.
I did too. So did I. Oh no. And I still had that reaction. And I was thinking about him saying Christina's name. Oh my God, that's so funny. No, but like Denzel Washington's
the wrong name in my own
You're like, and it's okay. And it's okay.
And you know
I'm
what?
okay
That's
with it. You know what? That's fine. Whatever you say, sir.
Yes, my name is Christina.
Think about Denzel Washington's smile in Training Day. Like when he does that, he's got that like 1,000,000-watt, like beautiful fucking smile.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my God.
God
Yeah.
damn.
You can't trust that.
No,
He's gonna ruin your life.
It's gonna be great.
That
It's
smile.
gonna be great.
Well, I think he would have ruined your life when he was 25. I think he's like, he's
Without
chill now,
question.
you know?
And then I think I want to fuck Lin-Manuel.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not think you were going to go that
I
direction.
thought you love a bald man, so I really thought it was going to be Pitbull.
It was kind of hard to go between, but I do think that kind of energy that he has is, in my experience at least, has led to a fun evening.
It's going to be a surprise.
When it's focused on you,
Yeah.
that kind of energy can
Also-
be really, really fun. Not all the time. I can't handle that kind of thing on a day in, day out basis, but it would be a fun night.
And he's going to plan a killer New York date.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he's got that Capricorn thing where like he's going to plan a date from beginning to end and he's going to take you all over the city, but it's not going to feel like work. It's
Yeah.
going to be
Right.
like all the hidden high spots.
it's going to be so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I actually really want to be friends with Pitbull.
I think it'd be
want to
so
go
fun. I truly
party
do.
in Miami
Yeah.
with
Woo!
Pitbull. Mr. Worldwide?
Oh,
Come
Mr.
on.
Worldwide.
I mean, gonna have to dodge a lot of cocaine though. You know?
Oh,
I feel
well.
Why
like-
would I dodge? What am I dodging? Like, what are you
I
talking
just
about?
feel like if you're hanging out with Pitbull,
Oops, I fell in it.
Whoopsie-daisy. I do feel like Pitbull though, like it's like it'd be like living in all daylight all the time Alaska for me, where you're like, what day is it? What's happening? Like, because I feel like he can just go and go and go, and so you got to be careful with the cocaine, or you're gonna end up like day 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Miami
Again,
is
explain to me the
itself.
problem here.
Oh
Yeah.
God, I'm tired thinking about that.
Yeah, just literally pacing around the Fontainebleau. Miami. Do you think the dealer's up yet? You think we can re-up?
No, I mean, let's be real. Pitbull travels with his dealer.
Yeah, that's true.
Allegedly, don't sue us.
Yeah.
Okay, I think, this is hard. Very different energies, but I think I'm going to marry Denzel as well. It was hard because I also
I know
think that Lynn
Lin-Manuel.
would be
I'm
fun.
a little surprised. I'm not going to lie.
No, I'm going to marry Lynn. You're right.
I'm
You're
just
right, you're right.
saying.
And like, I do think, yes, I
You're going
think
to do
that,
good things together.
yeah, we're going to do really good things together.
I feel
think
like
he's friends with
Denzel
the-
would get under your skin a little bit because there'd be a little bit of like kind of not telling you what to do, but like giving advice. Like
Yes.
a little
He
bit.
does
of
seem like the
that.
kind of guy who gives a little too much advice when it's not necessary. You're like,
Well, because because he knows.
I got this.
Yeah, because he knows.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I questioned Lynn because he does have that, like, he's very high energy, and I am a Taurus rising. I need nap time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But he seems busy a lot. He's writing a lot. So I feel like that opens me up to lead my own life and have my own activities. And when we are together, it's going to be like super fucking fun.
Yes.
I think he's also friends with the Obamas.
Ah.
Amazing.
honestly.
Yeah. So I feel like that this is good for me. And then, oh man, this surprisingly hard because
Yeah.
Denzel, sex icon.
Yeah.
I feel like, but
Pitbull got
Pitbull
something
would
too.
be hilarious.
Yeah, do it for the lulz.
Right? Like, I
know?
feel like it would be wild. It would be on a boat.
Yes.
Like,
1,000% on a boat.
You're definitely
Yes.
on a yacht. There's no question.
yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's very intriguing
Oh
to
my
me.
God, below deck. Let's do it.
Oh, God.
Why not be on top of the deck? Hey.
Hey.
No, okay. I'm going to fuck Denzel because I feel like you just have to,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I would be disrespecting my people if I didn't, if I had the opportunity to fuck
You're
Denzel
like,
and then like didn't do it.
You actually are like, my ancestors were crying.
Would shame me. Yeah. So I am going to friend Pitbull though, because what a fun time.
That'd be fun.
What a fun time.
Fun.
All three of us are going to party on Pitbull's yacht.
Yeah, girl.
You know you want me. You know you want
Fireball. Da, 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 da.
I mean, hey, what a way to bring in 2025.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. You guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
Yes.
Sounds good.
And we're back. All right, Cassie.
Okay. So I'll kick us off with stories. So story starts, I was 24 and my friend Jess invited me to a house party to welcome in the new year. Her colleague and friend Hugo from the pub she worked at was hosting, so I went along to have a drink after her shift in the pub. So we headed over to his place. No one else who worked at the pub had been invited, but we didn't think too much of it and headed over around 9 p.m. When we arrived, Hugo answered the door and beamed at her, but looked surprised and disappointed to see that she'd brought a friend. After an awkward introduction, we went through to a silent living room with no music, only dim lighting from a solitary multicolored lamp and a
he was trying to set the mood, but setting the mood without music.
You can't do surprise date, guy. Like,
on
you gotta
New Year's
just
Eve.
Yeah.
How dare you? Hi, come over to my place for a fucking party, a New Year's Eve party.
No. Also, yeah, as a woman, if I did go by myself, I'd feel so uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
Right.
I would freak out.
Like, yeah.
Well, I think too, like, I'm kind of like at that age, 24, I would have probably not gone to a party by myself. Even if I was invited, I would have probably asked a friend to come with me. It's just weird walking into a party. I don't know anyone, really. Yeah. I know the guy I work with, but nobody else I work with is going to be there. This would be 100% me. Me and my weird friend walking in, nobody's there. Hugo kept saying he was so angry and all of his friends are canceling and he didn't offer us any drinks or a place to
sit. Fun party, bro.
You planned a party. All your friends. I would cancel too if I knew that Hugo doesn't ever buy any drinks or food for his party.
That's because it's just total bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Obviously, it's bullshit. Yeah. Right. He didn't offer us any drinks or a place to sit down. So after an awkward pause, we sat in the sofa, opened the bottles that we had brought. He then left and came back to the living room with some paper and started angrily making a collage of images related to 2016 while not speaking much.
What? What? Is this the party activity?
Yeah, I guess.
Like make collages of the past year?
I guess. And only when he spoke did he speak. He only spoke to Jess. It dawned on us that he had invited her alone to his house.
Yeah, no kidding.
Were fictitious, as he kept fake calling them from, kept getting fake calls from them, and he was a terrible actor. Can you imagine?
Oh God! The worst.
Hey, Paul,
the worst.
Oh no, you can't make it tonight. Oh man!
If you're listening to this and you think that you can pull it off, I promise you can't. I promise you can't. It's much harder than you think it is, and you look foolish.
Yeah, it turns out acting is hard.
Yeah,
actually,
taking fake calls.
Hey, hold on 1 second, guys. Hey, friend.
Hello?
No, that's what's going on.
You can't make it. Oh man,
shit. Are you kidding? Everyone's been canceling on me tonight.
God, it'd be so uncomfortable.
That's
so
awkward.
Time to go.
We devised a plan to leave by telling him about a great party across town and booking an Uber and persuading him to join us. He then insulted our driver by saying it was stupid not let us drink alcohol in the car.
Okay.
But we all got together a party at approximately 23:50, so like 11:50 p.m.
Yeah.
She was able to escape him when he found some friends that he knew. I have never been so glad to be a third wheel. Jess no longer works at the pub with him.
Oh my God.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
no, it's so sketchy. Like, don't do that to somebody.
Yeah,
How
especially
weird.
on New Year's.
New Year's.
Very weird.
Come over to my house for a New Year's Eve party. Like how did you think that was going to go?
Yeah, that she was just going to like, oh, it's just us. And then he was going to put on the moves enough that she's like, Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's how he thought it was going to go in his head, that
Also,
he was
like,
going to be able to woo her.
Even if you just
Delusions.
invite me over, I still want music and snacks.
Right.
weird.
Yeah. Walking into
Alcohol.
a silent stranger's living room that's dimly lit. No, thank you.
No, murder. Okay.
No.
This one is a bit for the new year, is a bit of a lesson story.
Ooh, okay.
It's a little long, but just bear with me.
Okay.
In my early 20s, when I hated myself a lot more than I do now, I allowed people into my life who mistreated me, who got off on fueling my insecurities and using me for their own sexual and psychological shortcomings. Mine is not a unique experience, and I'll chalk it up to my youth, abandonment issues, and craving any male attention, regardless of how destructive and unworthy of my time it was.
Oh.
As I inch towards 30, I can take stock of all the ways I have learned to better take care of myself. I have a therapist who I love, I run to calm my anxieties, and I have little to no time for anyone who doesn't bring joy, love, and support into my world. But after a particularly harrowing date last week, I came to a painful realization that there are still a number of extremely problematic things I'm willing to put up with when it comes to the prospect of a romantic relationship.
Oof, yeah.
The first red flag I noticed about John, let's call him that, is that he asked to meet for a drink on the same day we started chatting. It's small, sure, but shows a general lack of respect for another person's schedule. How do you feel about that?
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like the same day nature of it. Says that like it's not important to get to know you.
Right.
And
And I am with her
gives
too.
me
Like
the ick.
I like plans being made at least 24 hours in advance because even if I have no plans that afternoon, the no plans were my plan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I had plans to go like sit on my couch and watch Real Housewives. Like
If I want to
plans.
couch rot watching TikToks and like
Yes.
eating snacks,
Yeah,
like
drinking wine, leave me alone.
that's my plans tomorrow
sounds so
afternoon.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Our actual date happened a week later. When friends who I spend a lot of time with asked what my plans were for the evening, I was tempted to cancel and retreat to a safe, comfortable place. But I didn't really notice anything too terrible about John over text. And as I asked my therapist 1 hour before the date, what's the worst that could happen? Well, I'll tell you. I arrived at the bar at 6:15. At 6:52, I was about finished with my first beer and starting to think maybe I was getting stood up when a grown man walked into the bar wearing a Sesame Street t-shirt, basketball shorts, and flip-flops.
Whoa.
Oh,
Come on.
You're 40 minutes late for the date and you show up in a Sesame Street t-shirt, basketball shorts, and
basketball
flip-flops.
shorts are one of
basketball
the-
shorts.
The basketball shorts.
That's
Turn
it for
off.
me.
Turn
and also
off.
flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
Dude, have you looked at boy feet?
Oh my God. I was at, a couple of months ago, I was at this bar with my friend. And you guys know her. I don't think she'd care if we said her name, but Ariel. And she's like one of the most put together people you've ever seen in the world. Like everything is coordinated.
Yeah.
This guy, there was clearly two of them. We could tell that they were like working up the nerve to like
Oh,
come
God.
over. They're, doing that like that one's for you and that one's for me conversation, right?
Yeah.
Gross.
And they made their way over. The guy who was talking to me was actually like, he was dressed really well. He was very polite. The guy who was talking to her, and this is the thing that she would not let go of for the rest of the night once we like moved away from them, was that she was so offended that a man in flip-flops would hit on her. She was like, who do you look at me? Like you thought you could approach me in flip-flops? No.
Ma'am. Yeah. No, I get it.
Get your life together.
I get it, dude. I don't want to see feet. I don't want to see feet in public.
No. Yeah, she was very offended by that. So men, take note. I do not expect a man that I'm going on a date with to dress any kind of certain way. I just expect a man that I'm going on a date with to have the decency to not show up in his pajamas. Did you wear that to work? I asked, genuinely curious. No, he scoffed. I wear a suit and tie all day. I wanted to be comfortable. Pro tip, there is a difference between being comfortable and flopping around your flaccid penis in a pair of basketball shorts.
Amen.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. Ugh.
Truly.
I should have had the self-respect to leave then and there, and in my ideal world, I would have. But instead, I laughed off his ensemble and failed punctuality and ordered a beer. I spent the next hour excusing not just his outfit, but his language and his behavior too.
No.
His general disinterest in anything I had to say excluded only my profession. After learning that I'm a reporter, he asked if he was going to get me too'd following our date, finding the suggestion very amusing.
Oh, God.
He was unimpressed with my place of work, and when I explained that I frequently interview members of the LGBTQ community, he proceeded to use a derogatory word to describe transgender people. Yep. I really don't give a shit about which word is right, he said when I suggested that there were other words he could use. He said this while he propped one bare fucking foot, sans flip-flop, out on the stool next to us.
Ew.
Out of here.
Get your foot juice off of a shared. Oh, God. People that do that shit on airplanes too. I'm like, you have no soul. Like whoever programmed your NPC fucked up because I don't want your fucking feet on communal spaces. You narcissist piece of shit.
And you know that it's the crustiest foot you've ever seen too.
God,
you know,
it always
like,
is.
Oh wait, the heels are just like white. Never had a
one
pedicure.
of my favorite videos that was going around for a while was this person who'd put their feet up on the window aisle and this person sprayed their foot and they like,
I'm like, excuse you.
Yeah, like no,
fucking
get the
rude.
fuck out of here.
We live in a society.
Yeah.
Oh God. In a bar.
Yeah.
Okay. She says, and hey, I still didn't leave. He made a joke about looking at another woman's ass as she walked by. Don't worry, you have my attention back now, he assured me.
I don't want it.
He commented on how smooth my legs were as his hand went up with the grain instead of against it. When I looked back at his face, which I had begun avoiding, it had taken on a ghoulish quality. He looked like a monster. And I still didn't leave.
Oh.
After a beer, I was ready to get the fuck out of there. He, it turns out, was too. Well, I'm done drinking, he said, but I'm down to keep hanging out. My apartment is around the corner.
No, thank you.
You were 40 minutes late and jeez.
When I declined, he became angry. He said, his face inching closer to mine, his words slimy. I'm so sorry to have deeply offended you. You have deeply offended me. You should be sorry.
You should be sorry. Yeah.
Before I even had the chance to respond, he followed up. I'm leaving, he said. He stormed out of the bar.
Bye.
I didn't even get to leave. I calmly stood up, paid the bill, and checked my phone. When the friends I had bailed on to waste an hour of my life asked how it was going, I told them, I'm sending you a car, one wrote back. Good friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was sobbing by the time I got in the car, partially in shock and mad at myself for staying as long as I did. My very kind driver let me borrow his charging cord, one of those short ones that can plug into multiple types of devices. For some reason, that made me cry even harder. So I sat hunched over the back seat vents, my ear barely making it to the phone, sobbing to my mom while the driver quietly passed back tissues and pieces of gum.
Oh, sweetie. Sometimes that does make you cry harder when you've had somebody's really
nice
mean
to you. Oh my God.
And then somebody's nice to you. You're like,
wherever you are, Uber driver, thank you, I love you, she says.
Aww.
I'm not the kind of person to swear off dating because of a shitty encounter, and I have had enough experience to understand that while typically uncomfortable, dates are rarely this bad. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't believe that at this point in my life, nearing 30, feeling more comfortable in my skin and more confident than ever, that I allowed him to offend me, make me uncomfortable, and still feel entitled enough to expect that I would have any interest in going home with him when all was said and done.
Right.
I am human and I crave intimacy involved in a relationship. I just didn't realize how much the desire to find a partner could trump what I would typically allow myself to go through. How quickly I'm willing to abandon the principles I preach both to myself and others at the prospect of wanting to be liked or lusted after. But then I thought a lot about how I would have handled things in my early 20s. How, if I'm being honest, I might not have just watched him leave, but probably would have gone home with him even after all of that. Because I have gone home with this exact type of guy, or rather another version of him, in an effort to feel desired, to be granted attention, regardless of how negative that attention was, And now, a few days later, still reeling over my wasted time, I'm proud of that growth.
Yeah, girl.
No. Yeah.
Relatable.
No, there's constantly, that's the other thing too, is that it's better to see the growth and be like, oh, next time I'll do this. But like even in my 40s or whatever, there's still situations where I'm like,
me too.
Oh, I wish I would have handled it this way. Like, why didn't I? I mean, there's a myriad of reasons, but being able to look back and see the growth, I think is the more important thing.
That is something that I want for myself in 2025 as well. I actually just got this book from the library on my Kindle, and it's called The Courage to Be Disliked. And I want to read it because I am such a people pleaser that me too. It's like the advice that I would give someone else or like on this podcast that I objectively know is the right thing to do in any given situation. I don't always adhere to that myself because of this desire to be liked or, you know, be polite or make someone else happy or whatever it is. So I just thought that story we've all been there. And I thought that she, like, kudos to her therapist because she has such good insight into herself. And I think that we've all been like, we all tolerate people treating us in ways that we don't deserve, you know?
Yeah, no, that's such a good reminder. Oh man, I definitely still have like room for growth, but you always will. And knowing that you always will, you know, you can't beat yourself up about it for sure.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, this person says, I made a list when I got home from this one.
Oh, good. I love a good bullet point.
And here it is. This man told me that he was sensing some anxiety or some ADHD.
Oh, Jesus.
Said that I and my dimples need to calm down as he patted my head and squished my face.
This makeup is expensive. Keep your fucking disgusting
dirty ass hands.
You need to calm down.
Of my face. Christina just pretended to do it to me, and I had like a little twitch in my hand. I swear to God.
I thought you were gonna leap out of the chair.
Oh my God.
3, asked me if I was taking anything for my anxiety. 4, smacked my ass.
I swear.
5, told me he smacked my ass because he could tell I was feeling that vibe.
Screams inside.
Oh my God. Slammed a door in my face. Insisted that I kiss him on the cheek. Tried to get me to feel him up on an open couch with a little child just a few feet away. Then asked me if I was uncomfortable.
It's too much.
I hate this person so much. You know, every now and again we tell a story where I'm just like, no, this is the person that I would least want to go on a date with. Like, this is
too much.
So gross.
It's too much.
We're not even to like the horrible parts yet.
Oh no.
Then asked me if I was uncomfortable because that made me horny and I couldn't do anything about it.
Oh God.
Insisted on walking back to his apartment so that he could show me how clean it was.
I'll take your word for it.
That's not necessary.
Took my phone out of my hand and insisted on looking through all of my selfies.
Shut up.
Then made fun of how many I had and asked to see nudes.
Oh. I'm having a fucking crash out right now. Like,
this is insane.
Here we go. This is where I was like, oh my God. Asked me why most lesbians were ugly and then told me he didn't mean to be racist.
What?
There's so much in that.
Yeah, I can't.
There's so much in that.
I can't.
So much ignorance packed into one sentence.
There would be no point in even trying to correct him.
You gotta leave it. You gotta walk away. This one can't be cured.
No. Saw an old picture of me with a faux hawk and asked if I used to be a lesbian.
Okay.
So
used to be.
That's lesbian hair. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, if I'm using the transitive property correctly from geometry. If you said all lesbians are ugly, or did you just say that I'm ugly?
Right.
Therefore,
yeah.
If so facto, I as well.
Yeah. Showed me a picture of his poop in the toilet.
No.
What?
Saying,
No. Christina.
Keegan.
Look at this crap.
No.
Get it? Crap.
Christina. Keegan's gonna shoot you.
I'm broken.
And it's not even like you. You didn't do this. She's gonna shoot the messenger.
Oh my God. Noted that one of the bar patrons was a total dork for wearing cargo shorts and said that it was a total fashion faux pas. Actually, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that.
But sir,
I mean,
I
rude
feel
to
like
say.
it is.
Also, you're not in the
houses
position.
and whatnot.
Yes. Pop meat kettle. Yeah.
Yeah. Told me I curse a lot and that it's hot in the bedroom, but otherwise not so much.
Oh my God. This man, this is the worst for me. Like, can you imagine?
No.
All the things that I hate the most in a person.
Oh my God. Picked flowers out of a business's flower bed and gave them to me.
I would die. Oh my God. That
The
for
roots
me,
and the soil are just like loose.
Just dripping dirt. Just oh my
would-
God.
I don't know what I would do.
For me, it's
my
the
God.
picture of the poop. For Cassie, it's I do believe like the flowers would send Cassie over the edge
this
for
is
sure.
it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How disrespectful.
So
Oh my
disrespectful.
God.
Yeah.
Told me I look better with dark hair and with longer hair. And erroneously mansplained female anatomy
Oh, Jesus.
and tried
Here
to
we go.
convince me that kidney stones don't hurt for women because babies come out down there.
I'm sorry. My whole life, I didn't know that babies came out of kidneys. Who knew?
We have to do better.
I
Like
know.
2025 is the year. Like we cannot. If we honestly, men should have to take a quiz before
Truly.
you allow them to fuck you. At this point, you know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like you need to be able to answer these questions.
I feel like it's a Google form that you can make them.
Yes,
like, go
before
through
we
or
even
something.
go on the date.
Yeah.
But you know what though? No, because they'll like fucking Google that shit. Like you
Yeah.
need to do it in front of me.
Yeah.
Write it down in front of me.
Yep.
And
You know
if
what?
you don't pass, I
even
get
if
up
they
and
just
leave.
Google the shit, they just learn something, and I don't have a problem with that nearly as much
All right.
as just being fucking wrong.
Yeah.
That's true. This guy wouldn't even Google.
No.
I'm sure.
He'd
Yeah,
be like, I know better than you do about babies and kidneys. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kidney
Kidney
babies.
stones don't hurt.
Obviously, they can't hurt because that's where babies come from. Kidney
Stupid.
babies. You fucking dork.
I think I gave up on men that day. Ha ha. Like,
Bye.
dude, for those unfortunate young 20s females right now having to date this crop of young 20s boys, with few exceptions, obviously. And if it ain't for you, let it pass. But yeah, it's rough.
It's rough. It's
The
rocky
divide
out there.
is
Yeah.
rocky out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Godspeed
Truly.
to you. I would not know what to do as
Girl.
a mid-20s
Nothing.
woman right now.
Nothing.
Yeah,
I think that's why
couldn't
more
be
and more
me.
people just aren't dating because it's just
Yeah.
like look, just gestures broadly.
Maybe
That's
the
why.
aliens are hot though.
What if?
What if the aliens were hot?
Does that change anything for you, Cassie?
It does. It
If they're
does change
sexy?
things.
Yeah.
It does. It does change
They
things.
all look like Pedro Pascal.
Oh, yeah, they're, like,
they're like
super
all
sexy.
Fuck
super
yeah.
sexy.
Oh, I'm
Forget
so
it.
olive
in.
skinned, just like
Yeah. I'm in.
Calgon, take
I'm gonna go
me
rub
away.
rub myself against one of their legs.
Yeah,
Take me to your
please
house.
Take me home. Take me home.
I'm house trained. Oh my god. Well, you guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool.
And we are back. And I have the story I promised you that I was going to tell you. Because as I said at the top of this episode, Viva la Revolucion.
Oh.
I
Indeed.
love women, even if they're young girls, actually, who will stand up against bullshit and call it out when they see it. And this is the story of the Nazi seduction resistance fighters.
I knew it. Amazing.
Truus and Freddie Oversteegen. So Truus was born on the 1st of August. August 29th, 1923. That is Virgo,
I think.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Freddie, her younger sister, was born in September the 6th, 1925.
Oh, double Virgos?
Two
Girl.
Virgo sisters.
They can do anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly.
I'm here for all of this. So they were born in Schoten in the Netherlands. The girls grew up poor. I mean, they didn't have a lot of money. They followed their father around as he went from job to job. They lived on a barge, and they would, it was a very nomadic lifestyle because he was kind of always between jobs, always looking for jobs. In 1933, so Truus is, 10 at this time, the parents decide to split, and the girls move with their mother into a small apartment in Haarlem, where they would both sleep on straw beds. This is a very, very, they're very poor. They're not well-to-do at all. Both parents, though, particularly, again, their mother as well, were both staunch communists and both very anti-fascist.
Yes.
Yeah. So at one point, when Truus was 5, her father had taken her to a protest. I mean, these are people who say the sayings and do the doings. So they're out there actively, being activists, and they were raised with this like really strong belief that humanity, was important, and the way you treat people is important, and that
radical,
a real radical. It was funny because I listened to a podcast talk about it, and they said whatever we're teaching the Nazi youth, they were getting the opposite of that. And I was like, that is so true. Like they were getting literally the opposite of that. So early in the war, it seemed that the Netherlands would possibly avoid having to become involved, as they had in World War I. They'd stayed neutral. So there was a lot of hope that the Netherlands wouldn't have to get involved in this war, wouldn't have to would be able to stay neutral. To the point that a lot of Jews had been moving to the Netherlands because they had stayed neutral, because it was kind of a safe haven, and it was a place for them to escape, right? And so the Oversteegen family, they actually were housing like Jewish people as they were coming in. They were taking in people who were like basically refugees, Jewish refugees, and even though they have like nothing, sleeping on straw beds, they're still like, stay with us, until you can get your feet, below you. And finally in May of 1940, the Netherlands was, a sorely unprepared Netherlands, was invaded by the Nazis. And after just 5 days of bombings and hundreds of people losing their lives, the Netherlands did have to relinquish to the Nazis. The Netherlands was so egregiously unprepared. This is a country that has not had to be in war, and they weren't in World War I. They don't have, these aren't people who like walk around with weapons. I think even in Amsterdam today, I think they even say like the police force doesn't have guns. They literally have billy clubs and rarely use them.
A chill place. It's just all about the tulips,
Yeah, tulips and weed. So this is they're not prepared to take on Nazi German forces at this point. And at this point, the Oversteegen family went from housing and like keeping Jewish immigrants and refugees to now hiding people in their home. They at the time had a Jewish couple staying with them. Truus and Freddie are 14 and 16, respectively. And the two supported their mother by distributing pamphlets, newspapers, posting homemade signs over top of Nazi propaganda. They were like, I don't give a fuck. They're just out there spreading as much as they can, obviously discreetly as possible, but they're kind of doing their own bit of underground movement at the time. And one of the stories that I had heard, they had said that they had even rallied like a group of children to take their bikes down to where this man was speaking, and all of them were ringing their bells. So it was so much noise that nobody could hear him, and he ended up just giving up and not being able to speak. So, I mean, they're
That's
like
amazing.
Little baby chaos, right?
I love it.
It's amazing. I love it. But on one evening in 1941, a gentleman came to the door asking to see the girls. This man was Franz von der Wiel. He was a regional commander of the RVV in Harlem. This was the communist-led anti-resistance campaign. They were the resistance campaign in Harlem. He wanted to recruit these unassuming girls to help him and help their fight in this resistance campaign. Most of the missions would include sabotaging train tracks and bridges, carrying secrets throughout the city. Because I mean, like, they're just two young kids, you know, little braids, just biking through the city, just delivering little letters, no big deal. And again, completely unassuming. So the girls were immensely valuable, again, because they were unassuming, because they were innocent. They were able to carry out dangerous missions. The first task was arson. After charming and distracting an SS guards on duty, they set fire to 2 Nazi-occupied warehouses.
Badass.
Awesome.
Can you imagine? They're like, what? 14 and 16-year-old girls. They're like, hey, soldiers. Hey, boys. You guys want to come over here and talk to us? Pew. Like, just, it's wild. Like, it's absolutely wild to think that they're kids.
I'd be so scared if I was their parent. I'd be so scared to send them out there, but you do it because you truly believe in
and I think
your cause.
Too, they were born to the right type of parent for that, where they've just been raised as little activists, you know, that's just normal life for them, is like standing up for what you believe in is ingrained in you from childhood.
Think about who you were at 14 and 16.
No, I was in Hot Topic. Fucking, not
sleepovers.
Yes.
It's just a different, but I mean, imagine if this is how you grew up, and I mean, there's war happening, and I don't know. I think I could see 16-year-old me, activist me, getting, you know.
I mean, dependent on we are a product of our circumstances.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So, like, we didn't have this in our teenage years. Luckily, we may get it in our 40s, but you know, some of us, but
yeah. So, on an occasion that seemed to basically change. So this is kind of something happened to Truus that really changed. You know, everything they had done was semi nonviolent, right? Like, nobody really was getting hurt. Like, you know, they're blowing up tracks, things like that.
It was mostly disruption based.
Exactly, disruption based. But there was an occasion in which she was kind of changed the course of her involvement. She was riding a tram through the city, and suddenly the tram was stopped by German soldiers who were dragging people from their homes, firing on them. One woman she's like looking out this tram car, sees a woman pulled out of her home that had a baby in her arms. The officer took the butt of his rifle to her face. The baby fell to the ground, which of course to her is presumably to the baby's death. But it was this fury that she felt after seeing that fueled her. It was really what ignited this like enragement that, you know, filled her. It's like, you can't fucking just do this to people. You can't come in here and just like, you know, destroy people. And it wasn't long after that, in 1942, that Truus and Freddie were asked to do a mission that would have them dressing as local prostitutes to root out an officer who was working to intercept intelligence that would put the resistance in danger. The girls were decked out, bright lipstick, heels, went into a local restaurant that was a known lounge where German soldiers would frequent. The officer they were looking for that night never did show up, and it didn't end up panning out. But a few days later, the duo ran into the SS officer on the street, and Truus, accompanied the soldier to a local cafe while shooing off her annoying little sister and was like, oh, get out of here. She's
wink, wink,
wink, wink. Everybody knows what's going on here. So she accompanies this officer to the cafe. After hours of drinking and flirting, she convinces the soldier to join her out into the woods. Her uncle has this beautiful piece of woods. It's not very far. And, if you just come out with me in the woods, we can take this a little further. You know what I'm saying? And so her uncle wouldn't even know. They could be all alone. It was in the woods that they ran into Franz, who pretended to be her angry uncle. And what are you doing in my woods? And the officer, is like, oh, so sorry, turns around to leave. And Franz shoots him in the back of the head. They stripped him, buried the body, and ultimately, this was the beginning of what they knew would be different involvement in the resistance.
Yeah.
So from the 2014 book Under Fire, Women in World War II, Truus is quoted as saying, "It was tragic and very difficult, and we cried about it afterwards." She said, "We did not feel it suited us. It never suits anybody unless they're real criminals. One loses everything. It poisons the beautiful things in life."
Well, yeah, you're a actually empathetic human being. That's the thing, is you can't, even when you're doing it to bad people, you can't comprehend doing things like that. Normal people can't comprehend that. I mean, I remember reading Elie Wiesel's Night.
Yes.
And just the lack, it's so terrifying to me. And I think that this is also, not to, take it in this direction, but it's why so many of us struggle with the idea of a second Trump presidency when it seems so hateful, is because we just can't comprehend. I know it's overused all the time and we say it all the time, but it's just I don't know how to convince you to care about other people. And it's so bizarre to me that that's not a natural impulse for some people.
Yeah,
that
truly
they're willing
isn't,
to
especially in this country.
Yeah.
It's so ingrained in American culture, that individualist spirit. And it's, there's good things with that. We were innovators.
Yeah, industrious and all kinds of things. Yeah.
But
I mean, so it's normal. Even if what you're doing, you believe deeply in the cause, and this is someone who you definitely think deserves this, or you're going to be saving lives by doing this. But of course, if you are a normal feeling, empathetic human being, this is going to be hard.
I mean, that gives me such empathy too for people that have served in the military.
Oh yeah, exactly. There was another quote that I had read, and I can't remember if it was Truus or Freddie who had said it, but they had said, you don't ask a soldier how many people they killed. I think somebody had asked them oh, how many people do you think you may have killed? And you don't ask a soldier how many people they killed. I mean,
right. Because this was a mission for them. It wasn't just this kind of, because of the way they did it. I think sometimes it can come across as this lurid, seductress kind of, but it's their soldiers. They're on missions. You know?
And honestly, the Dutch resistance, I mean, they fought all the way up until the end of the war. I mean, it was a really strong and really powerful resistance in there, but it was all virtually underground, very, very secretive. The girls would eventually be joined with another girl in the resistance, Honey Schaft. Honey was at university studying law, and early 1943, all the students in the Netherlands were required to sign a, quote, declaration of loyalty, pledging obedience to the occupying forces. Those who refused were banned from continuing their studies, and Honey refused to sign and fully committed herself to the resistance.
That'll radicalize you.
Yeah.
Some missions Truus would dress as a boy, and Honey would act like her, acting as her lover. Sometimes Truus would ride around on her bike with Freddie on the back and shoot SS officers, and also focusing a lot on the Dutch SS officers because I think they felt very betrayed by their own people.
Yeah.
Who would do this. One story, Truus recalls coming upon a Dutch officer killing a baby while the father and sister were forced to watch. It wasn't a mission, but she shot the man right there. And she says, I don't, for her, she said like, it wasn't a mission. I wasn't told to do it, but I couldn't not do it. Like, the three girls were inseparable throughout the rest of the war. Eventually, word would get out. Oh, so Honey is well known. She becomes kind of well known because of her red colored hair. And the word gets out of this girl with the red hair. It's kind of hard when you stand out quite a bit. Because of that, she had dyed her hair black and started wearing glasses. She was eventually caught, though. They did catch her and they tortured her, and she gave up no one and was eventually shot just 3 weeks before the end of the war.
Ugh.
Oh, no.
3 weeks before the end of the war.
So awful.
It's insane. I do know that they said that Truus tried a couple times to try to rescue her. One was, of course, at the end of the war. She went to the camp where that she thought that she was because they didn't know that.
Why is this not a fucking movie?
A movie.
Right.
Thank you. I know. I said the same thing. I'm like, how?
I'm like literally seeing it in my head. I'm seeing like an actress playing. You know what I mean? This is
It's such an incredible story that honestly should absolutely be made a movie. The Oversteegen sisters' heroism was largely overlooked for decades after the war. However, in 2014, both Truus and Freddie were finally honored with the Mobilization War Cross, a Dutch military decoration recognizing their contributions in the resistance. Truus passed away in 2016 at the age of 92. Freddie also passed away at 92 in 2018. Yeah. It's wild.
I love the name Freddie for a girl.
I do too.
So cute, isn't it?
So cute.
I like Frankie for a girl too.
Oh, so cute.
What an incredible I always wonder, because we really haven't had any kind of struggle or any kind of real knock
Not in
on
that
wood.
way. Yeah. No.
In our lifetime, and you always wonder like, what would I do? Would I just try to ignore it and keep work, or would I get involved and try to, you never know until you're put in that position, what your true character and what you're really made of,
Yeah. We've had little tests here and there, and I think it's those little tests that are important. They add up in time.
Yeah. I think they prepare you for
for the big test.
And I think the thing of it is that we, yes, those little tests have proven who I think we all are character wise, truly deep down. But, if I got to go do some underground shit, I'm going to do some underground shit. I ain't afraid to do that. Their story is a reminder.
Just the things that they were doing when they were really, really small of being, they were dirt poor.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a lot to offer, but still opening their doors and welcoming people.
It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, I definitely think with the threats that are happening in this country of like deportations and that kind of things, like even the smallest actions of help make such a huge difference. You don't have to be wealthy or well off to offer what you can or help where you can,
And again, these are kids, you know what I mean? These are kids. So imagine what you could do if you actually had resources, you know what I mean? But the story is a reminder of the extraordinary courage and sacrifice of ordinary people during times that were unimaginable darkness. 2 teenage sisters from Harlem became warriors, rebels, and heroes, fighting not just for their country, but for humanity itself. Truus and Freddie Oversteegen show us that resistance takes many forms, and sometimes it wears the face of young girls with unwavering determination.
Oh,
Baby girls.
I love that.
That is so good for a New Year story.
Yeah.
Yay. Everybody know your worth going into this new year.
Yeah.
Be strong.
Yep. Fight.
Yep.
Fight.
That's right. Oh, I love it.
Me too.
The way I want that to be a movie, immediately, if not sooner.
I know. I cannot believe no one's like snatched that up.
I'm not going to lie to you, and you're not going to agree with me on this, but I kind of want Tarantino to do it.
Oh, I'm not going to agree with you.
I know. I know you're not. You're like, I want the real reenactment story life.
Yeah, that's badass. That fills me with motivation.
Yeah.
That was a great New Year's Tainted Love.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Well, what are you guys watching this week?
So I have been watching, or I watched all the episodes because there's 3 seasons on Netflix, and they're all like 4 episodes long or something like that.
Yeah.
I watched Catching Killers. Did you watch that show?
No.
It's so well done.
I think I saw that one.
It is really, really well produced. And it's the episodes though are a little bit hit or miss for me because the whole thing is that they're like interviewing law enforcement officials about catching serial killers. So there's different episodes. Like the first one is the Green River Killer.
Yeah.
There's Eileen Wuornos. Those 2 episodes were very good, but because it's interviewing law enforcement, it really depends on who
it feels
it is.
kind of propaganda-ish.
Well, and it does. It's just like some of them have big egos or like obviously have views that like I wouldn't agree with about certain segments of populations and stuff like that. But the episodes that are good are really good, and the people who you can tell really like are victim focused and really cared about trying to find people for the victims. There's one, if you've ever watched a Green River Killer documentary, one of the women who was on the task force is this Black woman, and she is so great. Like
I totally know what you're talking about. Yes, I
love her. Like she's great. And then the Eileen Wuornos one is very interesting because they like interview this like biker. He looks like an old biker guy, but he spent like years and years doing undercover.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And he's the one who like went undercover and like met Eileen in the bar, like found her.
Yeah.
And he gives like, and there's audio because he was wired up. And he's like giving an interview about like going in that bar and like, I turned around and there she was, you know, like,
oh my God, great.
And so some of those episodes are very good. If you're getting weird vibes, there's one with Texas Rangers and I was like, I'm skipping this one.
Yeah.
The vibes were just weird, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I started rewatching Covert Affairs, getting in my spy mode.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, getting in the right
Did you
headspace.
ever watch that show? Piper Perabo?
No.
It's good.
No, but I remember seeing the advertising for it.
It's really good. If you're kind of in that, like, I love action, I love girl power.
Did you like Alias? Did you ever watch that show?
I did like
you would like
Alias.
that.
I watched it way after it came out. Like, it was one of those revisits that I was like, oh yeah, I like Covert Affairs better.
Okay.
I just think I don't know. It's good. I don't know. I really like her.
Well, I forgot to talk about this the last time that we recorded, but I stumbled upon the kookiest documentary I think I've ever seen.
You texted me about this.
It's called "'Twas the Fight Before Christmas."
Oh my God.
Didn't. When you explained what it was, I thought it was a script. Or when I looked it up, I thought it was a scripted movie. And then I saw, because it's on Amazon or something, I saw the like subheading that it said documentary, and I was like, pardon me.
It is one of the wildest things I've ever seen. This guy, first of all, is probably the worst type of person that you can think of. Like in my head, I'm like, that is the guy who's the polar opposite. Like I could not be even around him.
No, he's like Buddy the Elf, but lives in a HOA, subdivision.
Yeah. So he goes like cuckoo bananas for Christmas and is like, this is my calling from Jesus.
God.
And then so like he's living in the house and it's
real
like
polo
decorated
tucked
like
into khakis vibes.
Real
God.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation vibes. And like 5,000 people show up to see his like Christmas lights. They're selling hot cocoa. They're doing cotton
and the
candy.
neighbors are like, fuck you.
He lives in an HOA and they're like literally like traffic, people wandering through their lawns,
Trash,
like
I'm
all
sure,
this
dumping their cocoa cups.
He can't fathom. He's like, it's the war on Christmas. Like, he can't fathom why they're so fucking pissed about
You
it.
watched this whole thing?
I did. I was raging. It was
my God.
And these poor people who are just like, they live in like fucking Idaho. They have this quiet like HOA kind of thing, or just trying to deal with this guy who's like a lawyer and is going.
I hate him. I can
he's
tell you
already
already.
hate him.
Truly.
Awful. So yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I'm just sorry that's like past Christmas now, but it's such an interesting, again, we're talking about that individualistic society that we live in, and just that inability to be like,
it's giving Rand. It's giving.
yes, exactly.
It's giving take your flip-flop off and put it on the stool next to you in a public place.
Right. Yeah.
Woof.
Just we
His name's
gotta
Chad,
do better.
right?
Gotta do better. Like,
yeah, 2005 or 2025, not 2005. We're not going back in time, but let's, focus on just be nice to other people.
think about other people a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, if he really felt that, I love Christmas. And if he really felt that way, if this is your calling from Jesus, then you need to buy a house with some land.
Yeah.
And advertise this as a Christmas attraction.
And that's great. And that's awesome. And it brings joy. But it's just like, you have like elderly neighbors, like a retired cop lives
I can't
there.
get home from work. December is stressful enough. If I couldn't get into my driveway after a long hard day of work, when it's pitch black outside at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Girl, did you see the TikTok where the people were driving, like just bought this new home and were trying to park in their driveway, and this woman was parked there and she's like, Peggy and Brad always let me park there, and she's like yelling at them.
Peggy and or Brad. Please move your shit.
It's my house. Like, people
it was somewhere in Britain. I don't know. I just saw I was like, it's that kind of shit that kind of like makes me fucking want to pull my hair out.
Entitlement.
It's
entitlement.
Yeah.
Let's stop that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
everybody,
let's do that.
let's just be cool,
Everybody
everyone.
Just love everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just be cool,
Just don't
man.
be all
Not
uncool.
cool.
Well, if you guys have something we should watch, or a terrible story, or you just want to reach out and say hello, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstatepodcast.com, and we love you so much. Cheers.